What's going on, everybody? Good night. It's not even evening anymore if you're where I am. Good night, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good night. Don't forget, hit that like button, guys, please. Appreciate it. What's going on, Richard? What's up, Quad Up? Chosen One, what's going on, man? What's up to all three of you? So this is not the stream. Thank you guys for hitting that like button. I was definitely about to go to sleep, so because I went back live for y'all, if there's any reason to hit the like button, let it just be because I didn't go to sleep and I went live for the cause. Phone's about to die here. Thank you for those likes. Appreciate it. Everybody that comes into the stream too, guys, please tell them to hit that like button. Let's make sure this stream is worth, gets to as many people as possible. So I'm not going to beat around the bush too long, but feel free to ask questions after I run through this real quick. Obviously, I don't do clickbait, so if you see something in the title and you see it in the thumbnail, that means, let me turn the music down. If you see something in the title, you see it in the thumbnail, that means that I'm being serious. So we have a major problem on our hands, and it's like a multi-level problem. And so this might take me a minute to explain, but the summary is the title. So just reread it if you want to know where I'm going with this. We talked about earlier, right before we closed the stream down, how we were supposed to be following the Wyckoff accumulation pattern. Now, if anyone just popped in, you're not familiar. Basically, it's this right here. Everyone and their mother and their brother and their father believes that we had been following this pattern to a T. After we crashed right here on Bitcoin, that we had been following each one of these steps. And if you draw it out yourself on an 8-minute time frame, it does look correct, all right? So that is not unreasonable to assume. What this pattern called for, though, is this portion right here is the last couple steps before a reversal for good, and this would bring Bitcoin back up to 40,000, back up to 50 to 60,000. So what everyone thought was this whole thing was manipulation, and this portion that we're in right now is supposed to be the strong recovery. The problem is, and the problem has been, and it's been what I've been saying for the last couple weeks, if we don't follow the Wyckoff accumulation pattern to a T and we do break it, what will happen next? And unfortunately, this is now the scenario that we've been put in. My problem from the beginning has been, just like I just said to our members here in the members only Discord group right before I went live, my problem from the beginning, and I've been saying this every single day in every single live stream for literally the last few weeks, is the Wyckoff accumulation is just another pattern. There are there are plenty, not millions, but there are plenty of different patterns in trading. You have your typical like triangle patterns, your flag patterns, your pennants, and then you have other types of patterns that are more like longer term patterns, like ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs that will be put into one pattern. I've been hearing a lot about the Elliott wave pattern recently, and also the Wyckoff distribution and then the accumulation. Some of these patterns are manipulation. Some of these patterns are just trends that we tend to follow. And when those trends start to play out, they usually do the exact same thing and then end up with one particular outcome. The problem with patterns is that they are technical. They are technical patterns. And anytime you're following something technical, that means that it does not usually weigh in fundamentals. And it does not usually weigh in market conditions. It does not usually weigh in social or trader sentiment, the buyers and the sellers, how they feel because of something. All it weighs in is technicals and potentially big money manipulation. At the end of the day, though, that means if you're only looking at patterns, you're not looking at the big picture as well, because you need to be considering all factors. What are the factors here, and why is this bad? Well, factor number one is the fact that we didn't get down to this price range right here under 42,000 because of technicals. Bitcoin was doing just fine. Some people like to say that this was just Bitcoin playing out a head and shoulders formation here, but this is not. If you're saying this was a technical move, this is not technically how head and shoulders form. And you guys heard me say that personally. What I ended up doing was shortly after I said that, I watch other people's content too when I'm not streaming, and they were saying the exact same thing. All right, so it's not just me. Head and shoulders is usually very defined. You get shoulder, clear pullback, clear move up, and sometimes it is a little sloppy, but it's not this right here. And then, clear pullback, you get a very clear move. This is not head and shoulders. Some retail noob traders probably would say it looks like head and shoulders. It's not how it works. It needs to be clear. Things should be clear. If it's not clear, it's probably not it, and you're probably looking too hard. That's just the way it goes. Now, this right here, you could say looked more like a head and shoulders than this overall move. Anyway, let's not get off topic. So that is not the case. That being said, the reason that we dumped right here is because of social sentiment due to FUD in the crypto market. What is FUD? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Why was that FUD introduced? Elon Musk, when he said we are no longer taking Bitcoin for Tesla and we're suspending it because you guys are basically dirty energy and bad for the environment, that statement held a lot of weight for multiple reasons. One, because Elon Musk is one of the richest people in the world right now. I think he's number 2 currently, and it fluctuates just depending on like Tesla's share price, because that's most of his wealth. 2 is because Tesla is one of the most influential companies in the world. So what they do influences, they're a market leading company. That's just how that works. Don't forget, guys, hit that like button, please, if you appreciate me going live at like 1 a.m. my time, because I was definitely about to get in bed. So please, every single one of you, click that button if you're enjoying the stream and watching. 3 would be because what that means is when you have an influential company and an influential man say something to that weight to where we're going to suspend you guys, basically that tells all the little guys that, oh, well, if we don't want to look bad, maybe we should follow suit. It just held a lot of weight, and it implied that they would not be the only ones to suspend it, and it also implied that there is an issue fundamentally with cryptocurrency as a whole, that it's bad for the environment, and that just spreads FUD. Because now everyone's like, whoa, we thought this cryptocurrency thing was revolutionary, but actually, it's bad for the environment. Is this thing really going to last the test of time? We know proof of stake is supposed to eliminate a lot of the mining overhead, but what major networks do we really have that are proof of stake right now? So yes, that's a future fix, but right now there's no current actual solution. Ethereum's proof of work, Bitcoin's proof of work. There's problems. Okay, those are the market leaders. Anyway, all those things considered, when you start thinking big, you can see why that could crash the crypto market and really cut everything's price in half or into thirds. So this drop-off isn't surprising. But then on top of that, there was also China doing their part by, reinforcing the fact that they banned crypto, that they hate crypto, and that, people in their area couldn't interact with it. Then also the crackdown on mining. All of these things had nothing to do with technical analysis or a Wyckoff distribution pattern that forced the price down. Okay, this drop from here to here happened exactly on May 12th at about 6 o'clock, which is exactly when Elon tweeted. All right, that is not coincidence. The rest of the drops were with more Elon FUD and with China, not coincidence. So to say that after you could say, manipulated drop-off based off of bad news, you can't really assume for just a pattern to save the day and cause the price to go back up like the bad news never happened, when the news is still the news, when it's still the reality. On top of that, Bitcoin is in an extremely bearish scenario right here, which I've been saying also for the last couple weeks. Guys, please hit that like button if you don't mind. We've only got like 13 people in here, so there's a lot of people out here on YouTube that aren't hearing this right now. But you could change that by hitting that button if you're watching. Bitcoin's in an extremely bearish scenario right now. Right here. Again, I said this in the last stream a couple hours ago. Every other dip below this 36,000 level right here, this main trading area, was due to, it was just a brief dip, and it was usually just for a couple hours. We've been under 36,000 for a couple weeks now without recovering, and we've been hitting it as resistance. Bearish signs right here with the technical, if you do technical analysis. Not good. Also, the Wyckoff pattern here, if we were following it, was also already kind of sloppy to begin with. Because at first you had this that looked like it could be it, but then that failed. And then it looked like it was going to be more like this. But even that started to fail right here. And this is the portion we're at right now. we were supposed to come here on this move up and match this previous high, which was at 36.6, and then maybe do a brief little pullback to the 200 EMA was probably reasonable, and then a takeoff. And that was supposed to be our reversal. What ended up happening instead, and to just show you what that is right here, third pullback, meet the previous high, take off. Instead, we did not meet the previous high, and now we're dumping. So that right there is your first sign of a break of the Wyckoff accumulation pattern, which is bad news. What did we do instead? Well, we couldn't even make it up there that high. We didn't even make it to the 200 EMA, which is bad. That is bearish. Not having enough momentum to even make it up to the first resistance, let alone not the level we needed to get to, is a bearish sign. On top of that, it wasn't even a brief, small pullback. It's a major pullback all the way down to the trend line. The Wyckoff accumulation pattern does not call for anything like that. It is supposed to be this. And we can assume there will be a little bit of play because price action never moves straight in straight lines up and down long term. There's always, sideways, pullbacks, whatever. So you can assume some variation, but this was not in the play. So that's main bad sign right now. It looks like technically we are breaking the pattern that we had been following so well. There is an angle where you can say, well, maybe if you up your time frame some more, this is just part of the pullback here. And overall, this move, no matter what it does, is still going to get up here in time and then break out. Okay. When you start really trying to get to that point, you're kind of making excuses. And at that point, you should be more wary than that, than trying to force something into existence. Because if it's not clear to everybody, it's not clear enough. And that's why a lot of times you guys ask me like, well, what does the RSI say? What does the MACD say? What does the Bollinger Band say? What does the so-and-so indicator say? If it's not clear to everybody, it's not clear enough. That is my take on trading. To each their own. But if I'm not looking at something the way that most people are looking at it, then to me, it's kind of irrelevant. So I know not everyone trades with RSI, just like I don't, and MACD. So I don't use them because I want to see what does everyone else see no matter what. Usually that's volume, that's candles, and that's the 200 EMA line. That's all I keep on my chart, along with obviously plotted support and resistance lines. So my point is, if most people see this as a break of pattern, you should consider it a break of pattern, unless it proves to you something else at some point in the future. Because you want to go with the flow, go with where the money's going. If the money's saying I'm going to sell here because this looks like it broke, sell because it looks like it broke. If they're saying I'm going to hold because it looks like it's still going, hold because it looks like it's still going. Don't trade against the grain, the way that the market's going and the way that most people are going to drive the market. That's not our job. It's to make money by riding the wave. So anyway, the problem here is that we're now breaking the Wyckoff pattern. Another problem on top of that is that I've been informed by people that, while I was preparing for bed, some of the people in the members group that have been watching more content from other people, a lot of the people that were promoting the Wyckoff pattern to begin with, the ones that said that they were buying into it and the ones that were preaching that we were following it, are no longer believing that we're following it, and they are starting to sell. What is that going to mean for the overall market? Well, one, that means you should be concerned, because if the ones saying in the beginning that we were going to follow this thing are selling, you should be concerned. They were the ones preaching it and teaching it, all right? I wasn't. I was just showing you guys what everybody else was saying. I've told you from the beginning, I think we're going down. If we go up here, still know I was bearish, all right? And I was wrong. But my stance has not changed. I have reasons for saying what I've said, and those things haven't changed. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But for the last couple weeks, I've been saying bearish and nothing has changed. So again, if we continue somehow following a Wyckoff pattern and break above 36,000 and reverse here back to 50s, I was wrong. All right. But I've showed you both sides so you can decide for yourself. But I've told you always what I believe, and that's we're going down and there's going to be a major crash. Now, I guess the music said for me to just go ahead and talk with no music. We'll unpause that in a moment. But yeah, when the people that have been preaching that we're following this pattern to a T stop preaching it and say, never mind, actually I'm selling, you should be genuinely concerned. Okay. That's one thing right now. Now, this could be the biggest fake out of all time. And this was just pullback and everybody's looking at it too wrong, and they shouldn't have been using this small of a time frame. Maybe it should have been 8 or 12 hours, and then this kind of would have got eliminated into one candle, and then we're just going to do a more gradual play off of this, okay? But I strongly doubt it. So let's not start thinking that way. What we should start thinking about now is, well, what's going to happen next, and how can I prepare for it? The most logical assumption, all things considered: 1, extreme sell-off; 2, never being able to recover after about a month and a half; 3, overall bearish pattern here long term, losing our momentum from the top side of 36,000 to now being stuck on the underside of 36,000, and then 3 or 4, I lost track of where I was, now not only getting stuck on the underside of 36,000, but also everyone's belief that we were following a bullish, very bullish Wyckoff reversal, and that this was the moment. This is our value. This is our price action. This is where we are with everyone buying in that believes we're going to recover. Still stuck under 36,000 and not looking good. So that should be a warning sign that with this little buying pressure already, and this is all that we have 100% in, if the 100% in weak buying pressure that we have panics and sells, there is most likely going to be an extreme market crash to follow. And so, based off of that, everyone that's believed and that has been preaching that the Wyckoff is going to send us to the moon here and that this was our last stop, once they start selling and there's no more buyers, because you can already see the buying pressure was weak, and we already looked in the last stream, saw that there's a lot of people shorting right now, it's not a good look. So now's the time to start looking down, if anything, okay? Now's the time to start preparing your buy the dip fingers, and start getting ready for that angle, because that's the way it's looking, all right? What now, I guess part 2 to this segment, this conversation is going to be, what are my expectations? Well, like I said, I expect an extreme drop-off. Now, I will be surprised if we only see like a drop down to this 33,000 level support, though it is a strong level, and then some kind of reversal long term. I would be surprised. That just seems a little, that would come out of nowhere. What I'm expecting is, once we drop under, and keep in mind we're at Bitcoin 34,300 right now, and we did just barely miss going into 33s here. We dipped off $34,038, which is a bit concerning. If we and it looks like we kind of just do this little round off here and continue going down, and we end up in 33,000s, everyone should have a pretty clear sign. Everybody, no matter how bullish you were feeling, should have a clear sign that we are now disrespecting the Wyckoff pattern, and that whole dream is over. All of the bulls will probably go back into hiding, and now it'll just be showtime for the bears and the shorts to come out, which will probably drive the market down significantly. Now, if you guys can remember, on the last attempts at crashes here, where was everyone's mindset? Can you guys and I'd like to be interactive with you guys. I know I missed your comments, but I was just trying to get this point across first. And now I'll start catching up on comments, and I'll let you answer. Can you remember what the price targets were that everybody was spamming? Pretty much, screaming last time we started heading down. Where did everybody think we were going? And I'm sure a lot of you heard different numbers too, so feel free to just, whatever number you heard that Bitcoin was going to crash to before, feel free to type those in the chat, because I genuinely want everyone's answers, because I'm sure you guys have heard different numbers than me. But what's important is to know what most people were saying, okay? This is where you start to logically figure out where we'll probably end up if we do crash. So go for it, by all means, in the chat. Now I'll start reading some comments here and catching up. Gilbert, 12 cents. Okay, well, that's Doge. That's a good guess, Doge. But on Bitcoin side, if anybody can remember any Bitcoin price targets from the previous crash, where did they think? What did you hear that people thought we were going to hit? Was it something in the 20s? Was it something below 20,000? Feel free to let me know. All right, let me read comments from top down. Preezy's present. Awesome. Yeah, I was about to fall asleep, but I saw this will try and last as long as possible. Yeah, man, I was almost asleep myself. But thanks for hanging out. Ryan was waiting for the late night stream. Looking scary right now, my man. It sure is. And I don't want to freak everybody out, but I do want to make sure everybody's kind of got the firm warning. This is not a FUD stream. I keep it 100 no matter what. I do not care if you guys buy or sell. I do not have a large enough stream that if any of you decided to all buy or all sell, the price would move at all. So it doesn't benefit me to try and pump you guys or anything or to make you sell. So 100% unbiased. This is from technical analysis and analyzing the situation that we've been locked into. If you've been following the daily live streams on this channel since early May, we've been live streaming every single day, staring at this chart from day open to day close. So we've gotten familiar with the scenario that we're in, from SNL run up to SNL crash, to the run up right after that, to the Bitcoin crash, to the China FUD, to all the moves in between, all of the different announcements, Coinbase, 420 Doge Day, 6-9 Doge Day. Like, we've been here through it all. So actually, I guess we've been streaming back in April too. We've been here through it all. So based off of how comfortable we are, how familiar we are with the price targets we usually hit and how the price usually reacts from staring at the same exact asset every single day, this is kind of where we're coming from. Byron says, hey, I appreciate this. I'm a little bit worried about all cryptos. My eyes on the chart all night. Same. Now, don't get me wrong. We could be surprised. You know how Bitcoin likes to do and even drag moves out. So if it drags up, moves out, it could drag crashes out too. There could be some kind of move here where it pulls back to the trend line, does a bounce, really drags this out to the next day, crashes, bounces off 33 first. I'm not saying this is going to happen and fully play out by morning and you're going to see 26,000 or something like that. But we're having the stream to recognize the fact that we are now deviating away from the Wyckoff pattern and everyone's starting to accept that. So now you should be concerned. That is the overall gist of this stream. Quad up, what's up? Hopefully when I wake up in the morning, Bitcoin will be at 32K. I agree. At this point, whenever I see the market start looking like it wants to crash, I start gearing to buy the dip mentality. Instead of hodl and ride the wave up and then profit, it's cut, wait, watch the dip happen and be excited to buy another cheaper price. That's how I roll. What's up, Austin? Bring on the dip. Maybe the whole vodka speaking. Maybe it's the vodka. Could be. I had a little bit to drink myself. Which actually, let me get back to that. Everybody like the stream? Thank you, Quad Up. Yes, by the way, guys, if you haven't clicked your like button, we've got like 40 people in here, but only less than 20 likes. So please click that like button. We've actually had 80 people roll through, but very few like clicks. This is a real stream. I know the content's not particularly exciting when we're talking about a crash. People don't like to hear it. But if you appreciate people out here telling you the truth to help you save your money, please click the like button. Because I could have just clickbaited you and said we were going to $1 for your subs and your likes and your attention. But that's not how we roll here. FPF, and also big respect to Matt Davis as well, Final Stand, who actually, he just went live himself not long ago. And instead of, because, it's very easy to get people hyped up and donating to you and subscribing to you when you make them feel good. But in his stream he just had, he did imply, whales are selling and he doesn't think the bull run is coming for another, month or two. In other words, that this run up isn't going to make it. So it's rare that you hear him give a negative outlook on Dogecoin. He's always super excited about it and passionate about it. And he likes to be bullish and, always the silver lining. Like, yes, we're going down, but we're going to go right back up. But big respects to him for keeping it real with his stream. I respect that. Despite, and, the chat didn't like it, but it's not about the chat, The people that want the truth will hang around. PFP says, or FPF says, this is scary, man. Yeah, it is. It is. I might have to wait until September and El Salvador implements legal tender. Brian says, I'm not telling. Brian knows. He knows the deal. Brian, you did say it was going to go up, though, right? Mickey says, what's up? Hey, what's up? What do you think it'll drop to? Let me get to the projections that everybody's getting at the bottom, and then I'll give my opinion. So let me come back to your question in just a moment. Do I think it's just a bear market or is it a true crash? I think it'll be a true crash. I think at this point, this whole move is a true crash. I mean, going down and all cryptos losing 50% of their value and things still being bearish, to me, this is more than just a bear market. Bear market would have been like 25% loss. 50 plus percent, this is a market crash. Bitcoin 24K, whoop whoop. Yeah, man, this is interesting. What about revisit 16 cents on Doge? Well, that would happen if we have a big enough crash on Bitcoin. So, very easily. Damo says, bro, good morning. Hey, good morning, man. What's expected Bitcoin dip? Let's talk about that in just a sec. Hello, Jonathan. Welcome back. 12 cents Gilbert. All right, so here now we're getting to the expectations that everybody has. Don't forget, smash that like button, guys. Click subscribe if you're new to the channel. This is the kind of content you get anytime you click on my videos, my live streams, 7 days a week. This is actually the second live stream today. I go live anytime there's a need to. All right, so if you like that constant coverage and you like content related to Dogecoin and crypto, click subscribe. That's simple. Ender Gabe says 28,000 and 20,000 were the two that you heard. Okay. 20K from Ryan, 28K from Richard, 28 from Ivan Cabrera. Ryan says 25. Schmicky 28K was what Lost was saying. Most was saying. Okay, 28K. Dre says, Ayo just got here. What's it looking like? It's looking bad. Looks like we're failing the Wyckoff, which means it's looking bad. Tristan says, great content, baby. Appreciate that, man. Really do. Ryan says, the only streamer going live for the people trying to give them real honest advice based on what he sees and give the warnings no one else will. Appreciate that, Ryan. Davey, hey, thanks for the info. Of course, Davey. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Richard says, we do. You're great. Thank you. Yeah, respect to Matt from that. He showed he knows his stuff. Yeah, big respect to Matt. And the problem is when you're that big of a name in the space, and people are looking at you to give them good news, big news, make them feel good. Dogecoin to the moon, that's his whole thing. It's really hard to be the bearer. The bearer, I guess you could say, the bearer of bad news. And people, especially if they're just here for the hype, they don't like it. And so, he probably lost some subscribers tonight. But if you're really about Dogecoin and you're really here for the whole movement as well, people need to take the good and the bad. And so, respects to him for keeping it real with his people. I know that probably wasn't super easy to do. And people were, they didn't like it in the chat. I almost super chatted and just said, guys, appreciate that. But he closed up stream pretty quick. Lionheart says, one video is all it took to realize you keep it real and tell us what we need to hear, not what we want to hear. I respect that. Thank you. Thank you, Lionheart. That's the only reason I go live. It's because back, 2 months ago, nobody was keeping it real on Dogecoin at all. So, and thankfully, Matt, he transitioned to that side a little bit more recently, which is cool. But there's still, other than very, very few, it's hard to find anyone in not just the Dogecoin space, but any cryptocurrencies that most people want to go to the moon. Most people aren't being realistic. And, it's a view grabber to make people feel good, but I don't have to worry about views anyway. I have 3,000 subs. What kind of views do you think I'm getting? So I have nothing to lose by keeping it real. Damo says, I don't think it'll go below 33K. Okay. Yeah, thank you, man. Of course, was going to go to sleep, but this is appreciated. Yeah, no problem, guys. And I know, if any of you are in the U.S. and you're anywhere near, well, just if you're in the U.S., period, no matter what time zone you're in, it's getting late your time. My time, it just hit 1 a.m. So at the very earliest, it's 9, 10 p.m. if you're on the other side of the United States. If you're in a different country, you could have just woke up or something. But, so yeah, I know a lot of you guys probably can't hang out but so long, which is fine. And I should probably even go to sleep soon. But point being, just wanted to tell everybody, it's not looking good. I have been bearish over the last few weeks. My stance has not changed, but with the Wyckoff and everybody following it and pushing it, it became, it started to become a reality. And if something weird starts happening and the price is just going to go up, even though it doesn't make sense, as a trader, you ride the wave. You don't just go against it and try to push your own agenda, because you're not in control of the market. If you want to make profit, you go with the flow. And so that's where I've been going over the last couple days with the Wyckoff pattern. But sure enough, it looks like we're losing steam. What I'm seeing here is this is what it looks like. Okay, don't hold me to this, but I'm just saying overall, this is what it looks like this wants to do. And that's maybe something like this in a drop out the bottom. Once that happens, it's pretty much over for this whole pattern. And I expect a pretty steep sell-off. That's just me. Now, when it comes to price targets, there's a couple things to consider. This is where it gets difficult. In my personal opinion, and what I've been saying, and I'm going to stick to this, my personal opinion on what I think price targets are for Bitcoin. I feel like people should take this very hard. All of the bulls are going to, cut their trades. They're going to panic. And I think all we're going to be left is short sellers and bears. Because of that, I feel like we're going to end up crashing through the 33,000 level that we're already right here at. I'm tired and so I'm stumbling. Crashing below that 33,000 level. Once we do that, we already know off previous conversation, the only other support level we have, that is strong, is 31,000. The problem with the 31,000 support level is that usually when we got to 31,000, it was not a great sign. Look at 31,000 right here, and you can see why I'm saying 31,000 has usually not been a great sign. Usually it was only off the most steep and intense sell-offs that we got to 31,000, and when we did, it was an absolute low point. So if from a low, we end up going right back down to 33, 31, which we've gotten comfortable with and blew past twice already now. Now we're not even really respecting it anymore. If we get back to that support line, it's probably not going to hold this time, especially off this bad news. Already one of the most bearish scenarios imaginable, stuck under the 200 EMA, stuck under the 36,000 level, which indicates bearishness. Been trading under here for the longest period of time we have been since we've crashed, and now the Wyckoff bullish reversal pattern is not going to play out, which confirms that we're too bearish to reverse, even with all things in our favor. All right, I feel like everybody's just going to sell, which means we'd fly past the 31,000 level. The only thing we have left is this weak level here at 29,000. It only has 2 touches. And the last time we were even down here, we made a new lower low, which means it's already not that strong of a level to start with. We already disrespected it on the second touch. So that probably means we don't even hold there. When we end up making a new low, what usually happens is market crash, as people not only start to panic and sell, but then people's stop losses also start to trigger. Because you can imagine people probably have stop losses set, if we make a new low, get me out because we're probably going down. That's usually the trader mentality. So at that point, I do believe now we have to start looking 20,000s under 28.8 as what is our stopping point going to be. Based off of that analysis, now, as you can see, we have no more support levels here because we'd be making a new low. So now we have to look to the left and see where, when we were on the way up, way back when, January, December, what were our key levels there? What were our supports and resistances there that we can use as reference? Mentally, you can always say the increments of, common numbers. So that's multiples of 5 and multiples of 2. Usually those tend to be textbook support and resistance lines. But to be accurate, let's actually look back over here and see what's going on. So we can see there was, wick here at 29, wick here at 28, wick here at, and some consolidation here at 28. So like a lot of you guys were saying with your 28 guess, 28-ish definitely looks like it's potential for at least a bounce. Whether or not that's the bounce to stop it for good and make it reverse back up, or if it's just the bounce to, do a pullback and then come back and drop further. 28 is probably a level we can expect to see something happen. That'll be a decision-making spot if we make it down that far. Let's just say we hit 28, we bounce up a little bit, not very bullishly, and we just come back down and start heading back down. What would be our next likely stopping point? Somewhere in this general area of around 25, 26 is what it looks like. I think we need to zoom out a little more. Were we ever... No. Okay. So this will kind of be our second time back there. So that'll be interesting. But right about here, if you guys see this right here, this general area, right from 25 to 26, is probably the next likely stopping zone right here. You can see there was some kind of resistance here before it made the next move up. You can also see that it used this as support. So 25, 26 area could be the actual bottom. In my opinion, I'm not sure if we really fall below that. Right under that, you can see there's strong activity here at 24 down to 22. If we somehow fail that, there's also strong support, very strong support at 20 flat. So that's kind of our levels right here. So let's just say about 2200. Well, I want to pick the most key levels here. So let's do this. Let's just say 26 instead of 25. And then let's just say 24. Yeah. So let's just go with that because we're on the way down. So let's just pick the tops of these, I guess. So 28, and then you've got 26, and then you've got room down to somewhere near, 24, 25. I don't really think we go below that. The thing about Bitcoin is we know, regardless of what's happening temporarily, that due to the way Bitcoin was formulated, it's in the code, its whole purpose is to be deflationary and to go up significantly and exponentially over time. So whether or not Elon ever accepts Bitcoin back, I mean, maybe we just end up starting from this playing field that we're in right now, and then Bitcoin starts doing its deflationary price increase stuff from here. So worst case scenario, we trade sideways down here in this general area for a while, 30s to maybe mid to high 20s. And then once Bitcoin's halvings and, less supply, more demand, all that stuff kicks in, as time goes on, the price still exponentially goes up from here. With that knowledge, you know that no matter what, as long as Bitcoin's functioning and respected, that Bitcoin is a good investment, which makes me think whales are not going to let the price get but so cheap, because big money is definitely going to want in at a discount because they understand that concept that I just explained, being that big money making opportunity. So it's not like they're going to just say, oh, never mind, I want nothing to do with this. They are going to want to keep buying and buying and buying at discounts. And getting below 20,000 on Bitcoin right now is kind of an unreasonably low discount. So I doubt the buyers will even let it take the chance of missing out on like a 20,000 dip in hopes to greed that it gets down to, these double digits under 20,000 into the teens. So I don't think it's possible to see Bitcoin under 20. And I'd be very surprised if we saw Bitcoin significantly under 25. If we do, I think maybe it would start slowing down 25, maybe a wick down near 24 and a reversal. But I don't think it goes lower than that. That would be very shocking. So I guess to any of you that were asking, what are my price predictions if we get a crash and we end up in 20s? I think at the lowest, Bitcoin 25, 24 before a full recovery. Now, someone in the members-only Discord group did draw out a bit of their own prediction here. And where'd it go? Did you delete your photo? No, oh, it's probably up further. Okay, right here. Right here. This is very likely, and this kind of meets, this is what they drew up, and it kind of meets also what I was basically thinking, the gist. You see the crash, we break down into 30s, 30 flat, we break down into the 20s. You get a little bit of stopping power somewhere, around 28. Actually, you drew this out pretty much exactly to what my thoughts were. So that's interesting. We get, a pullback to 28-ish thousand, a little bit of a bounce, but not enough because we're now in bearish territory. And then the actual hard crash down into the 20,000s with stopping somewhere right around, 20, 25, 24,000. And that's actually exactly what you drew out. So it's funny that we're on the same page there. And then, the actual reversal out of the hole later, whenever that will be. So, hey, that's my chart. That's QuadUp's chart. QuadUp, you've got the same brain as me right now. I hadn't even closely looked at the levels that you had drew out, but that was exactly what I was thinking. So, right on. Couple comments here. Bro, it was shock for me to see 34K. I was thinking it would cross 37. Yeah, very, there was a lot of bullish momentum coming up on this up move here, and it was looking really good. Because let me just tell you guys and spell this out. What we ended up having here was a very classic reversal pattern where you get the drops, this reversal, this consolidation, reversal consolidation. What basically ends up happening with this very classic move that I see is you get tight consolidation that trades sideways, it widens out, and then it narrows back, and then it goes back up. Very classic little curl. I don't know what it's technically called, but I see this all the time. So I expected, just like it dropped right here, for it to go back up. And sure enough, that reversal did play out. Traded sideways, went back up, traded sideways, went up, and then failed. So faked a lot of people out right here. It was doing its thing, and then it just stalled out way too soon. It had another, long ways to go, about $800 to go before it got back to where it needed to be. It also fell short of the 200 EMA, which made it look extra bearish. Everyone panicked, sold. Now we're down, making a whole nother pullback that we were never supposed to make. So we're not in a good spot. We're just not. And like I said, I like to entertain all possibilities. So if we are still some magical way going to continue following the Wyckoff, you just say this was a little nick in the road, we get back up and move. Cool. All right, but I like to be realistic. That's not the way this looks. So I'm not going to be, entertaining that possibility. That's not my main thing I'm going to entertain. The way it looks, we failed. And we're weak. We're bearish. It's very safe to say it's over for the Wyckoff. All the people that believed in the Wyckoff are saying it's over, which means their followers on YouTube are going to start believing that it's over, which means people are going to start selling, and the pattern is going to fail if there's no more buyers to back it. And it kind of already has. So we're going to see going down to 33.7 as an appetizer tip. So that Doge is 21.22 cents. At 31, where will that put Doge? If Doge is at about 24 right now, 31 would put Doge down to, well, where is Doge exactly? 24. 31, I mean, that would put Doge that put Doge about 21. Pretty close to 20 to 21 cents. I think 33 put Doge somewhere near 23, maybe very low 23s. But then, that 31, once you start getting back to 31, I think a lot of the altcoins will start falling at a faster rate out of panic. You know how they do sometimes, where they'll lose value faster or gain value faster, even though they're following Bitcoin's trend. A lot of the panic or bullishness in the market will cause the altcoins that are more volatile to move up faster or slower, though it's following technically the same pattern. The moves will be larger. I think basically after we break the pattern and there's more fear in the market, that you'll see a lot of the altcoins start to drop at a faster rate. That's just my thought. It's just been a slow bleed the whole time since SNL all controlled. Yeah. 19 cents. When it's all said and done, this will be worth it. Absolutely. If all of you guys continue to play this right. Now, don't get me wrong. When market crashes happen, most people, I don't care how good you are, at some point, you're going to lose a couple bucks. You're going to play something wrong. It's part of the game. No one here, I don't care if you've been trading for 90 years, like since you were a toddler, and then going into your near death. No one is ever going to trade 100%. Everyone's going to get burned every once in a while. The people I learned from, a lot of them were being transparent about their mistakes. People that have been trading for 10, 20 years and have plenty of red days where they just can't make profit. That's why not everybody is stock market and crypto millionaires, because it's not easy, and you're not right all the time. But it's, like I said, it's always about how much you can stay in control by, planning everything, thinking as far ahead as you can, keeping your emotions out of it, and then trying to make logical decisions along the way, and mitigating your risk and taking and cutting your profit as well, following that plan so you actually lock in gains to counter your losses. Any chance Doge hits 9 cents and under? Ooh, I don't think so. I definitely don't think so. I'm so tempted to sell a ton to buy in lower. Yeah, I don't think Doge can possibly go that low. That would really mean Bitcoin ends up back in the teens as well, which is a really controversial thought, because, If Bitcoin ends up in the teens, we should definitely be questioning cryptocurrency as a whole and why we so strongly believe in it if value is that expendable. Because coming from 65,000 to go to 19,000, that would really shake up the whole cryptocurrency space. And I'd be more concerned about other things than just looking for a dip buy. Maybe is crypto the future type thing. So that's not something I want to see. And if I feel that way, that means I'm not alone, which means that could be a problem. I personally don't think Doge will go below 14. Yeah. I've always said like 12 is probably my absolute minimum, but I would think like 13 to 15 absolute lowest dips seems pretty, with maybe a touch into 12s. I don't think we go below that. Certainly not single digits. 28K Bitcoin was 16 cents Doge. Neither stayed there for more than a few minutes. Retested a few times, and that was it. If Bitcoin drops below 28, we could go lower, but again, I don't think we stay there from all the buy pressure. Right. Roberto says 40K, 38K. So your price target's up. Dr. Dre says, oh, hey, I saw me. I'm baying your Discord. Yes, sir. Hey, that's my chart. It's crazy how it was just 60K. Now look, yeah. Hey, Mariano, what's the update with Bitcoin and Doge? How are we looking at going? My altcoin's gone down. We're not looking good. The Wyckoff pattern's starting to fail pretty hard, which means we're probably going to see a bit of a market crash. Now, how hard the crash is anyone's guess, but I have told you guys what I think, and that's that we're going to go mid 20,000s Bitcoin, which will take Dogecoin back into the teens for another dip buy opportunity. Richard says, smash the like. Yes, thank you. Smash the like button. Absolutely. All right, I'll start playing some more music here, but yeah. I won't stream for too much longer. I am sleepy. Probably a little, I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. But yeah. Yeah, failing that pattern, here's the thing. It doesn't matter what happens next, in my opinion. Because let's just say we're overreacting, all right? Let's just imagine the scenario where we're overreacting. Yes, we failed the pattern, but we still hold here and we mess around here. It's still concerning enough for me to just say, all right, well, I'm just going to cut my trade here because I have no idea what's going to happen next. And that's kind of where I'm at. You guys know I believe the market crash is going to happen. Even if it doesn't, I'm concerned enough about what just happened here to cut. That's kind of the point. If we're breaking the pattern everyone has been preaching we're going to follow to get us out, and now we're not, it's probably a good idea to sit on the sidelines and say, all right, well, what's the next play? Rather than riding that wave out and taking the whole crash. Unless you're just hodling, then you don't care what's going on right now anyway, because a couple months from now we'll be back to your price target. Do I think we will see it by tomorrow, or will Bitcoin take its time? I think we'll definitely see it by tomorrow. I think we'll see the first stages of what's going to happen. So whether that's us crashing and heading down towards, under 33,000 towards 31, or if we're magically still going to go up from here, we should see that by sometime tomorrow. Could happen at any point like last time, but most likely during the week. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I do think we'll see it tomorrow. At least the starting of it. But we know Bitcoin's a slow mover. So I'm not saying the whole thing will play out tomorrow. What's the FUD going around about President Biden regulating Doge? Says the Chubbs. I actually have not heard anything about that, so I have no idea. I'd have to look that one up. First time I'm hearing about that. How would you even do that? That would be interesting. Noah Cenero says, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it looking? It's not looking good. Not looking good. Stefan says, or Steven, WTF, Doge is not crashing. Are you this guy is falling type guy? No. Quad Up says, I'm about to head out soon. Got to study for midterms and get some sleep. Okay. Understandable. All right, well, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Dr. Dre says, I'm day trading, but there's nothing wrong with hodling either. Yeah, absolutely not. And like I said, I'm day trading on a couple accounts. I'm holding on the others. But if you're holding, don't let this scare you and start making you think, well, maybe I shouldn't hold. Because if you genuinely believe in cryptocurrency and Dogecoin as well, you know why you're holding. So this doesn't matter to you, right? Because you don't plan on selling. You never planned on scalping moves anyway. And you're waiting for the price to just come back up to you. What happens from point A, in between point A and point B, doesn't matter. You bought in at point A, you'll be selling at point B. That's all that matters to you. So don't let these kind of streams where we talk about the in-betweens and how to prepare for that really throw you off if you're a hodler. Not trying to FUD anybody, but hopefully it's internet hoopla. Yeah, so basically, early morning hours show activity. I sleep with one eye open. Yeah, when the Asia market kicks in. So basically, guys, that just popped into the stream. I mean, we've been explaining this for... Oh, wow. Are these all new people coming in here? No, it's only 35 people. Crypto 420, how low? Here's the thing. I don't want to give an exact price target out because we don't know exactly how this will play out. The point of this stream, though, was just to let everybody know that it is becoming generally widely accepted that the Wyckoff pattern, the Wyckoff bullish reversal pattern that everyone has been preaching that we are following, and that's going to take us back up to Bitcoin 40,000s and 50,000 and 60,000, is failing. Okay? Because everyone's been looking at the Wyckoff pattern saying that we're in the stage right here. All right, phase C of accumulation, this part right here. And we bounced off 33,000, which was correct, but now we're failing this portion right here completely. And people that, content creators that were the ones that started saying in the first place that we were following this pattern are now saying that we're not, and they're also selling. There's a problem with that because they're the ones that really got everybody on the hype on the whole wave that we were following the Wyckoff in the first place. So if the ones that were saying that the bullish people are selling and all their followers are now going to panic, that's going to create a bit of an issue. All right. And then you can also just see here, if you do your own TA, that if we were following, there were these moves right here. This move right here was correct, but we were supposed to get back up. If you're looking at that pattern, back up to 36,000, which was the previous swing high. All right. And then who knows, maybe do a pullback because price never moves in one direction and without pulling back and trading sideways. So let's just say there was going to be a pullback here to like where the 200 EMA was at the time and then a breakout. That's what was supposed to happen. What we got instead was a fail because there just were not enough buyers to support. That at the end of the day, we didn't have buying pressure and people panicked and sold. So instead, what we got here was a fail of the Wyckoff pattern. I think the first overall strong failure of this pattern. We didn't make it up. Instead, we stopped right here, which is way short, not even close to making the same high. That's your first red flag. And then instead of just doing like a small pullback, sideways trading or whatever, and then, regaining traction, even if that was down to the 200 EMA, that probably could have been forgiven. And then coming back up here to the line and continuing. We didn't even do that. What you saw was weakness, us not get up to our price target, and now just a major sell-off, and we're heading back towards completely abandoning what the pattern was supposed to say, which was 1, 2, 3 lows. On the third low, that's the last pullback because it's absolute low, a higher low, and then the last higher low, the third higher low. And that is the last time you come to that level because then you meet the 36.6 level and then you take off. So doing your TA here, you see, oh, what is that? Horizontal line? That's not what I want. Vertical. So you see first low, second low, third low, which is supposed to be the third time we hit. And then we go to the 36.6 level, do whatever, and then take off. But instead, now we're about to make fourth low. There is no fourth low in the Wyckoff pattern. So the fact that we're now not breaking out, we didn't even hit the level we're too weak, and now we're making a fourth pullback, means that the pattern just basically gets discarded and thrown out the window. The problem with that is we were already in a bearish scenario. Market crash, number one. Number two is we've been trading sideways for a month and a half with no signs of recovery. Number three is on the most recent attempt at a strong chance of recovery, we failed the hardest that we ever have and made a completely new low, a new all-time low compared to where we even started from. Because the first time we made 29,250. The last time after our attempt to break out, we dropped all the way down and made a new low at 28.8. That's bearish sign number 4. After failing again, it's making the lowest low we've had so far. Then after that, bearish sign number 5 is that after this portion right here, to make it worse, not only did we not, let's just break this up. Bearish sign number 5, we didn't have a strong recovery after we hit 28.8. If we had hit, usually, and you know this if you're like a day trader or just a frequent trader at all, usually when you hit a low that is respected to be the absolute bottom and like the real dip before it takes off for good, you'll see a very strong reversal out. Even if it takes a little bit, you'll see a strong reversal out because everyone believes that that was the bottom. And that's how you get confirmation it was the bottom. Everyone's in agreement. That's how trading works. It is based off of people's emotion and then the actions that they provide or play out based off that feeling. So if everyone feels like this is the bottom and it's not going to go any lower, that becomes the low. And then everyone buys in usually at the same time because they're in agreement that that was the actual last dip. And then you see it take off, go back to where it should have been, and then we probably would have seen a reversal. Instead, what we see is we made this new low, this concerning new low, and then this weak move out with already a pullback right here. Next pullback didn't even get back near 36,000, which is where it was average trading before. On a strong pullback back down under to 30,000, which is questionable because 30,000 isn't even a level, as you can see, but it failed the 31,000 strong support, which was red flag like number 90. And then a fail to get above the top side of 36,000 here, which was another bad sign. And then following the Wyckoff pattern, a fail of that pattern, and it didn't even hit the 200 EMA line. There's so many red flags here saying that this price is bearish and weak and that we're probably not recovering yet. Okay, and I've been saying for the last couple weeks that I think we're going to see a market crash and that I did not agree with the Wyckoff pattern because it didn't make sense to fall based off of social sentiment, bad announcements, Elon Musk, FUD, China, FUD, all of that, and then recover based off a technical pattern. Like the two things don't make sense. But the thing is, traders follow what they believe, and if everybody, all the YouTubers out there and content creators are saying, we're going to follow the Wyckoff, we're going to follow the Wyckoff, this is textbook, this is plan, and people start buying in and selling at the Wyckoff levels and forcing the pattern into existence, there's the possibility that something weird happens and we just follow it out. Okay, but it just didn't make sense other than that train of thought. Just didn't make sense. So at this moment, I'm not at all surprised because I've been saying, you could check my Twitter or go back to all my last videos, that I didn't think this was going to play out. All right. But like I said, also, as a trader, your goal is not to predict the market and plan the market and be right all the time and all that stuff. Your job is to figure out where the market is going and figure out where you're going to enter and ride the wave and make your profit. All right. So at the end of the day, though, I kept saying what makes sense is for us to go down. If we're going to follow the Wyckoff pattern in reverse, cool. I'm just going to find a place to buy in and ride the wave. I don't need to be right. All right. But my prediction has and still is that we crash. Whether I'm right or not does not matter to me. So if we hold here somehow and bounce and go back up to the moon, by all means, awesome. I'll find a place to buy in and we'll ride the wave up together. All right. I don't care if I'm wrong, but I'm telling you what it looks like from a technical and reasonable perspective is that we shouldn't be recovering here, Wyckoff or no Wyckoff. But we'll see. And yeah, then the next problem is, well, if we do fail this line, we're already in this bearish scenario. So if the Wyckoff fails and there's, all the people, well, here's the other part. This is our buying pressure. This weak move that we've been having here, this is our buyers with the most bullish reversal pattern like in existence right now, them strongly believing that that's going to play out. This is the the price action we got off all that bullish momentum? Nothing. All right, bearish sign after bearish sign after bearish sign. Not good. That means when the couple bullish buyers that we did have sell, and it looks like also according to Matt Wallace, he said that he also saw that some whales were selling, which is why he made his bearish video, which is very rare. That's when you should know something's not right, is when Matt Wallace says we're not going to the moon. That's when you should get out your emergency kit, get your flashlight, make sure it's got batteries, all right? Get your backup generator. Something's not right, all right? Something's about to go down. But anyway, he said he went to some site and saw that whales were starting to sell. Not a good sign. But anyway, my point is, once the few buyers that we even had right now supporting this see that we're failing the pattern, they're also going to sell. All that's left is all the people shorting and people that want out because they're going to panic. If they panic and we're already near 33,000, the only other support line we have is 31. 31 has been a bad support line anyway, because the only times we hit 31,000 were at absolute low points on these extreme dips. So 31 was kind of a concerning support anyway, even though it did hold. It usually meant, you know, very bearish if we made it down to 31. If we fail here, that's exactly where we're going. So we're going to be failing from very close to 31 and a hard crash from very close to 31 at that. So that's not good. What's also not good about that is the last couple times we were at 31, we didn't even respect it and we flew by it. You can see here, you can see here. So now if we go there again off a legitimate crash, this is perfectly, and I mean perfectly, setting up to do the most bearish pattern you could probably think of, which is come down from a high, trade sideways, and then fail that support, flip to the bottom side of it, start doing an ascending triangle, and then fall out the bottom side. Yes, he did. Watch his last video, Stefan. And then fall out the bottom side and do this. That is the most bearish thing you can imagine. Fall out the bottom side, test resistance. Stefan, we don't lie on this channel, okay? So don't annoy me here, all right? If you don't like what you're hearing, you can go to another channel. But we don't lie on this channel. I'm not making anything up, all right? That's just what it is. So this is what's shaping up here. This, all right? We could fall to the bottom side, test the underside of this, and then drop. That's what's looking like what's going to end up happening here. So that's not good. That's just being honest. So that's my prediction. We'll see what happens. Okay, but it makes sense the way this is shaping up. It looks like it wants to at least dump out, go back to 31, and decide what's going to do next. I just am genuinely concerned if we really crash here based off failing the Wyckoff and we end up back at 31, that it's not going to hold. This was already a bad sign. We made a new lower low. We didn't even hold right at 29.2. So I don't think that holds either, which is why I'm saying I think we go into mid 20,000s, which will probably be at these levels I plotted out. Potential reversal at 28, 26, or near 20, 25, 24. I doubt we go below 20. That seems almost impossible. So that is my absolute low, and I'll just make this orange because it's not even going to be a good thing if we go under 20,000 Bitcoin. If we do, crypto as a whole should be questioned because nothing should be able to lose that much value in the cryptocurrency space just based off Elon Musk sending out a couple tweets. And then China, who has nothing to do with cryptocurrency anyway, just denouncing cryptocurrency. If those two things can crash and make you lose, cut your income into thirds, then we should be questioning cryptocurrency. So, when next few days. So we should see a decision in this triangle. I would expect by tomorrow. All right. My hope was that we would follow Wyckoff and then just be right about here by tomorrow and then have some potential Independence Day traders, because stock market's closed tomorrow. So traders have opportunities to get in the moves here. But now that we're failing, we're either going to see them helping out and start shorting it or I don't know, maybe they look for some dip buys, but I don't think anyone wants to dip buy in a market crash if they're smart. Not on the way down, at least. Maybe once it confirms it stopped. So Yeah, anyway, I don't think we'll see like a full crash if it's going to happen. I don't think we'll see that by tomorrow, but we should at least start seeing the decision being made here. You know, end up down into 33, see if that's going to hold as a level or start heading to 31. So I think we'll be right in this general area by like tomorrow. That's my guess. We'll see. We'll see. Nice drop in my opinion. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. ¿Podrías repetir nuevamente a cuánto se quedaría el Bitcoin? I don't speak Spanish, but I can read it. I have no idea what you just said, bro. Wait, please. Oh, wait. Please repeat. Nuevamente. I forgot what that means. Podría. Please repeat the count. You want me to like repeat my Bitcoin predictions? Could you repeat again how long Bitcoin will stay? See, I don't know Spanish. I can read it, but I figured that one out for you. I can pronounce it. I know the Spanish alphabet and I can read it, but I literally don't know like what the words mean. Yeah, no problem, Ender. Thanks for hanging out. Wait, you read that so well. I probably had a lot of people confused. It doesn't really make sense, I guess, right? Like, how can you read pretty fluent Spanish, but have no idea what you're saying? That doesn't seem to make sense. I literally just know a couple words, and there's some words that, you know, repetir, repeat. I know podría is like, can you please, or can I please, something like that. And then I saw Bitcoin, el Bitcoin, the Bitcoin, cuánto. Yeah, I don't even know what that means. I don't know. Anyway, Dogecoin falling down. Okay, let's flip to Doge because we can see on Bitcoin side that it's not having its great time. We already know this. So let's go Doge. I like keeping Doge on 3 minutes. Uh-oh. Well, that's no bueno. Am I right? Am I right, Ulysses? Wait, you speak English, bro? Why would you type in Spanish? You maybe translate your comment. You speak English? Oh, it's too late for this. Yeah, that's not good at all. I'm dead. That's too funny. That's not good. By the way, guys, as you can see, 1 minute time frame on Dogecoin's pretty atrocious when there's nothing happening. You see all this low volume, pretty ugly to look at. All right. So if you want to summarize that and get candles that kind of make more sense, just move up to 3 minutes. That's what I usually monitor anyway. Looking at the 1 minute time frame is just going to make you make bad decisions in cryptocurrency. It's too volatile. You'll get too emotionally moved by the up and downs. So just summarize a couple of those candles by moving it to the 3 minute time frame. You'll still see all the patterns you need to see. In fact, it'll either even be clearer sometimes with the 3 minute summary. But then also it takes a little bit of the emotional edge off, which makes you trade better. So that's my suggestion. Anytime you're looking at a cryptocurrency, shortest term time frame should be 3 minutes. Unless you're ready to like literally buy or sell right now, then just flip to 1 minute. Make sure you're, confirm what you're looking at, but keep it on the 3. The 3 or like the 30 or the 4s. Those are my main couple time frames. Doge, Skytech, what's up? Says Dogecoin falling down. Yes, it is not doing well here. FPF says, dang man, it's a tough situation. Hopefully something comes up and saves crypto until we can get El Salvador legal tender in September. Yeah, it is not looking great right now, man. I wish we were holding a little better, but Ulysses says, what do you think about 23,000? Because I think it'll be at that price soon. Yeah, I think when Bitcoin falls, the absolute lowest it should go would be around 24,000. I would expect a reversal at like anywhere from 24 to 26,000. I'm just kind of hoping it doesn't try and go anything under that. So And based off the levels that I saw, that looks somewhat accurate, you know, right here. So I'm looking 24.26. Under that, when you really go back, you can see the next level was the bottom side of this, which is like 23, like you were saying, 22.23. But I'm hoping we don't even pass below this. And as you can see, this was a strongish level right here. See all this resistance? Looks like the strongest level of all of these was right here. If we fail that, that's concerning. Then we have this and below, so I don't even want to look down there. Crypto shouldn't be going down that far, so that's why I don't want to. Like, 24 is my absolute lowest price target for Bitcoin. What is this? I like your style of technical analysis. Thanks. Oh, appreciate that, man. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, look at Doge crashing now. Hey, thanks, dude. This is my first time in your channel. Saludas desde el Peru. Ah, nice. Appreciate you hanging out, Ulysses. And thank you to all of you if you're new to the channel, of course. I know some of you won't sub on your way out. You know, some of you are just here one time and then you'll venture out. I understand, but thank you for at least supporting with your views if you're enjoying it. And all I ask is, you know, never ask for money or anything like that, but at least take my perspective, consider it, and be very careful with your next moves here. You'll hear various things from different people. That's kind of why it's a good idea to watch different people anyway. You never want to just listen to one person's opinion and take that as fact, because nobody's going to be right every time. But the more the better. More info you can get, the better. But my overall statement from this whole stream was my predictions aside on if we crash or not, or if we go up or not, or whatever, is to just be careful because things are looking dicey at this point overall. That should be the main takeaway. Things are looking sketchy, so you need to be trading and treading carefully right now. If you decide to cut and hold, or cut and buy in later, or just hold through, is completely up to you. But I'm just letting you know the Wyckoff pattern is starting to fail, which means there's a high chance we go down. So start preparing and adjusting your mindset for that scenario. But, you know, if you're enjoying this stream, of course, click subscribe. Don't forget to click subscribe. Does help me out, by the way. Is Elon Musk thinking of baby Doge only? Dogecoin down, dude. Oh no. Doge going down. If there's something I know, it's that if Bitcoin falls, all cryptocurrencies fail or falls. Yes, exactly. Market leader. If that goes up, cryptos go up. If that one goes down, other cryptos go down. You were being sarcastic. It's moving up. Yeah, at this moment it's swinging up, but it has fallen under that trend line, so that's concerning. I feel like the Baby Doge thing wasn't directed at Baby Doge. LOL. He was just going with the song. I agree. 100% agree. At the same time, Elon Musk, you know what he did with what I call Sea Rocket, right? Family friendly. He likes messing around a little bit. Even though I definitely think he was talking about Dogecoin as we know it, Dogecoin. I think he was also aware there was a Baby Doge crypto. Thought he'd have a little extra fun. We've formed some support at 34.2. All right, I'll flip back in just a sec. You like Tezos as well? I actually haven't looked that much into that one. I wanted to add that to my list. Isn't it always going down by the end of the day? Will I go... it really depends on the day. Will I go live tomorrow to analyze again? I live stream every single day. Yep, 7 days a week. So you'll definitely see me live tomorrow. Once or twice or more, who knows. But at least once. Yeah, a little bit of a bounce right at the 34 line, flat. You can see right about there. 34, yeah, like 34.2-ish. 34.1. Couple bounces. We'll see what happens next. Oh, you meant resistance? Let me drop down then. That's not good. Support, resistance. You never want to see that. $100 apart on a $34,000 asset. You never want to see that. But you can see there's a bit of a downward right here. It's getting squoze into this little move. Also, Doge bottom looks super strong, 16 cents. Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple touches at 16, so if we head back down there, there's definitely a chance to bounce at that area. But if Bitcoin's crashing hard again, Dogecoin could easily fly through that, because Dogecoin hit 16 cents when Bitcoin was only at 28. So imagine, Bitcoin going down to like 24. We could definitely see lower teens on the Doge side. So we'll see. Kind of want to give this just a moment. I want to see if we start going down from this triangle. So let's wait this one out just a sec. Oh, man, it's almost 2 a.m. Oh, FPF, I missed your comment way up there. When would you be selling if you feel like it goes down? I have already sold. So, now. If you feel like we're going to crash, you should be getting out as soon as possible. This is what I always tell people. In the stock market, if you're day trading, trading's a little bit different, right? So, when you look to cut trades on the panicky side, usually you're cutting at like a stop loss, which means you're accepting taking an L, right? And you take that small loss and you just say, all right, so be it. Hopefully the next play is a win, and your wins end up being greater than your losses, and that's how you have to play day trading in the stock market. And the crypto space is a little different. Usually you're not scalping or really tightly day trading it the same way, and generally the trajectory tends to be up, or at the very least relatively forgiving, because there's not a whole lot of market manipulation. So you can play things a little more loose, right? So you don't have to do the same things. So that's why I like trading crypto more anyway. It's just simpler. It's a simpler space. Same concepts on patterns and whatnot, but it's a safer, simpler space. And not a whole lot of manipulation and all that. There is definitely still manipulation though, don't get me wrong. But anyway, you don't usually have to have firm stop losses and all this stuff, because things kind of make more sense with bounces and all that. And plus, at the same time, most of us here aren't, like I said, we're more doing more swing trading, which is like buying one day, selling a couple days later, a couple weeks later, versus buying with like, oh man, I need to get out of this trade within the next couple minutes or the next hour so I could go trade something else. Most of us are more just locked into one or two cryptos, so there's not that urgency. You can see that little breakout above that triangle. Looks a little weak though. We'll see what happens on this candle. See if it engulfs it and continues. Could be interesting. But yeah, to my point, you don't need to wait until the thing starts crashing to get out, like you would in the stock market, where you'd wait for your stop loss, whether it's mental or hard set software, to get triggered. If you can look at the price action and see, well, this does not look good, and it looks like we're going to be going down next, look for a good opportunity to cut your trade and get out before it starts happening. What ends up happening is that instead of being forced to sell low, what you can do instead is sell predictively sell relatively high, knowing that things are looking weak and like they're going to crash. Just sell at a decent point to where you either can take some profit with you or at least minimize your loss, and then look for a re-entry later based off what happens next. So you can it's kind of a different way to play it. Just in advance, before the crash even happens, assume the crash, sell high, and then wait to see what happens next. If it does crash, you can buy a dip. If it doesn't crash, you can buy in at the next pullback on the way up. If you get confirmation that your opinion was wrong, and then ride it out from there with basically having missed nothing, almost nothing. So if you think that the price is going to go down, based off everything you've heard and seen with your own eyes and whatnot, you should be looking for opportunities to get out now, especially on upswings, so you can maximize your profit on the way out, and then wait and see what happens next. So me, for example, my sentiment is bearish. I think we're going to crash, so I've already sold. If I'm wrong, so be it. That's the price. That's the cost of being wrong. I'll lose, maybe a cent or two on Dogecoin, and the end of the day doesn't matter, because if we did crash, I would have been saving like 10 cents. So that's the risk to reward ratio of cutting your trades in advance. But it's also playing it smart. Skytech says, heard like Chinese Bitcoin miners. Actually, I missed a couple comments. If I can go from 10K Doge to 13K or more, I'll be happy. I sold everything before the last dip. Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be a nice position size, because we got to think eventually, right? Doge should be getting near $1, so all those shares of Dogecoin will definitely add up nice. Skytech says, heard like Chinese Bitcoin miners are moved out to other locations around the world. Is it really done? Past 3 to 4 days, all crypto was with a lot of mixed stages. I don't know, Skytech. I don't know. You ask a good question, but I'm not sure. End of the day, I feel like the Chinese will figure out their way to get their mining done, because, mining's a big money maker if you got the right setup and the right energy costs. So they'll figure that out. Meanwhile, people in the states here are going to have a field day as Bitcoin mining gets easier for them. So there's that. But I'm sure, like you said, moving around to other locations of the world so that they can do it legally without getting burned, I'm sure they'll be back online. But regardless, crypto is going to recover, in my opinion, very soon. It's just kind of a matter of time, and we're experiencing a lot of delays here, which is disappointing, but more dip buys if that's what you're into. Prezi says, I was anticipating a second big dip. That's why you didn't buy in at all at 16. Kind of regretted it, but learning, trial and error. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's the way. Learning. And crypto is a great platform for learning these concepts. Once you get into the stock market, it's a lot less forgiving. And there's just so many more assets that you have to look at. And it's, right now we know we can look at Dogecoin or Bitcoin or Ethereum or Cardano or XRP. We have like a top 10 that we can always cycle through, and we don't care about the smaller ones. Or maybe you add SHIB to that list or something. And that's it. Stock market, it's always different stocks every day. And on top of your technicals and fundamentals, you have to be good at finding those stocks that are going to move out of like thousands and thousands and thousands. And it rotates every day. It's always different. Definitely a major pain in the butt and way more time consuming and more difficult. So definitely take advantage of the crypto opportunities here, learning and making money. Because if crypto ever stalls out and you want to venture into the stock market, you're not gonna it's not gonna be as fun. Which is why I'm living in the crypto market now until, as long as I can. Coming from the stock market, I am comfortable here. Thanks for the tips. I will use them for the future. Been holding Doge since February and told myself at 92 cents, but never got there. Okay. Yeah, absolutely, PFP. Glad to help, man. Don't forget, subscribe if you haven't. Same for anybody here that's enjoying the content. Don't forget, go ahead right now and just click that subscribe button before you forget. A little breakout. Yep, little breakout here. Holding at 34, trying to reverse to the top side. Thank you so much for all your effort and explanation. Really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely, SkyTech. Subbed plus liked. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for the sub, PFP. The only pure gamble coin you have is a few $100s in SHIB just in case. Same. Yeah, I've got a few $100s as well. And right now it's up a couple percentage points, so that's nice. Unfortunately, though, it's on coinmarketcap.com, which is an absolute scam. I wish I could just drive them into the dirt. So grimy. I don't like getting taken advantage of, okay? And what bothers me the most is that I even promoted them a little bit because I thought they were a good exchange, and, you know, it was the only place I could find to buy SHIB easily. And now that the more I use them and the more I actually look at stuff instead of just automatically going through with it, so like, you know, the receipts on my transactions with them and stuff, it is questionable. And so I'm transitioning off of crypto.com app. It's about to move back down. Fake mini breakout. That's my thoughts too. I think this is all fake. And it should be if our overall prediction's correct. You know, we do a little bounce here, get back here, drop. So. But yeah. Oh, crypto app is the coin market one? No, I meant to say crypto.com. Not CoinMarketCap, not CoinMarketCap.com, but Crypto.com, the exchange. The app, Crypto.com. I made a video on, like, do not use CoinMarketCap, I'm sorry, Crypto.com for your SHIB, or no, for your Doge, because they charge, instead of a normal transaction fee to take your Doge off of their exchange, instead of charging 1 to 4 to 5 Doge like most people, even though the actual network fee charged by the blockchain is only 1 Doge. Coinbase charges 1.4, which is okay, reasonable. Things like Kraken charge like 4 to export your crypto off to an external wallet, so that's still a little expensive, but still reasonable. CoinMarketCap, I keep saying that, Crypto.com exchange charges 50 Dogecoin per transaction. So if you wanted to donate to me or something, like that QR code up there, if you wanted to send me Doge, if you did it from CoinMarketCap's exchange, Crypto.com, man, I'm tired. I can't even not say that. Crypto.com's exchange, they would charge you 50 Doge as a tax to send me some Dogecoin, with a minimum that you can even send to me of 100. So if you tried to send me 100, you would end up sending me 50 and they would take 50. Disgusting. That's translated to US dollars, like $15 per transaction. $15 transaction fees. That doesn't make any sense. And that's a flat fee. It doesn't matter how much or little. If you wanted to take your crypto off of crypto.com and move it to your external wallet, like your Coinbase wallet or anything else, 50 Doge each time. $15. Anytime you want to move off of there. It is insane. Versus Coinbase, which is like 25 cents. Now, also the other problem that I'm now seeing, which is the reason I'm about to make another video on them, is when you try to sell, for example, right now it says I have like $670 worth of SHIB coin. And it quotes me a certain price to buy it. When I go to sell it, it quotes me a way, way, way lower price. Now, I understand bid and ask spreads for buy and sell, but it's not correct. It's clearly a ripoff. Like, when I try and sell, it'll make me lose $30 worth of SHIB off of a $600 investment. And you can't do any kind of limit orders or anything. It's just a scam exchange, dirty. So even if I sell my SHIB right now in profit, technically, by having ridden up this massive like 30% move, I think I break even or lose some money because they're making me sell at a way lower price than what it's actually at. Really messed up. So for that reason, I didn't even sell my SHIB today, even though I was up, because I was just going to lose it anyway. So Farsad said, "Hi, bro. Hey, what's going on? Highway robbery? Yeah, I will never recommend them again." FPF says, "Why and how did you make that top blue line?" what the heck? So right click on Webull, horizontal line, place it, and then you click here on color and you can change it. Now, why did I make it? Because it's indicating the resistance level here. Going across here, this was kind of an average trending level on different time frames, right around 36.6. And it was the all-time high from this little move here. So we were expecting another move here on the Wyckoff pattern, a pullback from there, going right back to the level, a pullback and a takeoff. So that's why I had it there to indicate. But we're starting to fail the Wyckoff pattern here. So all right, guys. Well, we do have a lot of people in the streams. I think that's awesome. However, it's 2 a.m. It's beyond late. You know, I can't even say it's getting late. It's 2 a.m. where I'm at. So I'm pretty tired, and I definitely want to come back strong tomorrow and have another great stream for everybody, or multiple streams. So what I'm going to do is get some sleep, rest up, and be ready to give you guys some fire content tomorrow. You know, the usual, every single day we have live streams and videos up. So if you're enjoying this kind of Dogecoin content and you want to stay tuned for not only my how to trade instructional videos that are going to be for free and posted on my channel, but also videos that I upload on Dogecoin and even stocks in the stock market with price predictions, price targets, all that stuff. And then on top of that, these live streams too. If you want to catch those, make sure you click subscribe right now so you don't forget and you don't miss out. But yeah, I am going to go to sleep, guys. Thank you for hanging out. FPF, good night. Thanks. Absolutely. Have a good night. Richard, no problem. Thank you, Farsad. You too. And Aran, have a good night as well. Everybody on the stream right now that hasn't commented quite yet either, hope you all enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for hanging out. Keep an eye on Bitcoin chart, okay? Monitor these price levels. If we do break, below 34,000 and start heading towards 33, you can assume that the whole failure of this pattern starting to play out, there could be a serious sell-off. So beware. Of course, if it starts going up, then I'll probably be live by the time that starts happening. So we'll watch that together. All right. Advantage, my brother, good night. All right, guys. Appreciate that. And yeah, have a good night, Advantage, and have a good night, everybody. See you tomorrow in the next